Good morning, and welcome to Morning Gospel Fuel with Mr. G. It is 2:39 p.m., so it is not morning anymore, but it is Friday, November 13th, the Friday the 13th, the feast day of St. Francis Xavier Cabrini. And she was one of 13 children, of which I think I read only 4 of them lived to be into their adolescence um, due to lack of health care back then, I guess. I don't know. I didn't read that much in depth. But she was an Italian American Roman Catholic nun. So she originally she had asked the Pope for permission to do missions in China, but he sent her out west to the Americas to help with the Italian immigrants because of all the just because he knew that the Italians needed help as many were immigrating to the Americas at that time. But throughout the course of her life, she founded 67 missionary institutions in the Americas, primarily Northern America, but some in Latin America. Um, and she served in the U.S. until she died in 1917 in Chicago. So that's not that far, or that's not that long ago. So yeah, you never know where the Lord will take you, even if it's away from your desires, which the Lord still worked it out for her, because eventually, even though she didn't get to go herself through all of her mission work, missionaries ended up moving in her order through and into East in China. So it all happened, just not in the time that she wanted it to, I guess. Anyway, today's gospel is from Luke chapter 17, verses 26 through 37. All right, let's begin. In the name of the Father, Son, and Spirit, amen. As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be in the days of the Son of Man. They were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage up to the day that Noah entered the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. Similarly, as it was in the days of Lot, they were eating, drinking, buying, selling, planting, building, and on the day when Lot left Sodom, fire and brimstone rained from the sky to destroy them all. So it will be on the day the Son of Man is revealed. On that day, a person who is on the housetop and whose belongings are in the house must not go down to get them, and likewise a person in the field must not return to what was left behind. Remember the wife of Lot. Whoever seeks to preserve his life will lose it, but whoever loses it will save it. I tell you, on that night there will be 2 people in one bed. One will be taken, the other left. And there will be 2 women grinding meal together. One will be taken, the other left. They said to him in reply, Where, Lord? He said to them, Where the body is, there also the vultures will gather. Man, Jesus kind of ends it with some harsh metaphors or imagery. I don't know what that is. But he's talking about the end of our earthly lives, which should be in the forefront of our mind often throughout our day, which should help us in turn become a better person in general. Otherwise, that's the whole point of really living, is to die, which is weird too, kind of a paradox in that sense. But as I'm going to read from the Word Among Us, the daily meditation, I thought did a great job of explaining this in a very relative sense. So today's gospel can be somewhat scary, it says. Could it really happen that at the end, some will be taken to heaven and others will be left behind? And if that really is the case, who would be left behind? Could it be us or a loved one? When it comes to end times, however, the church cautions us against reading too much into biblical images or trying to fit current events into the scriptures. So when we reflect on today's gospel, perhaps we would find more insight if we thought less about whether we might be mysteriously whisked into heaven, and more about how we're spending our time here on earth. We may not live to see Jesus return, but we will all come face to face with him at our death. And when that happens, all the possessions that we've spent our lives accumulating and caring for will be left behind. So will our loved ones, our jobs, and our unfinished plans. As sobering as this might sound, there is also a lot of hope in today's gospel reading. Think about the saints. What did they leave behind? No one remembers what they wore or what kind of house they lived in, but we do remember their love, faith, sacrifice, trust in the face of suffering, kindness, and courage, as well as the fruits of these traits. hospitals being founded, homeless shelters, religious orders, a body of inspired teachings, and a host of spiritual sons and daughters. So, what will you leave behind? Perhaps a family more united because of your commitment to reconciliation, maybe a parish that is closer to Jesus because of your witness to the joy of the Lord, maybe grandchildren who are more thirsty for Jesus because of your intercession. Tomorrow is not assured, so what is Jesus calling you to do today? Begin by listening to the small promptings he has placed in your heart and acting on them. Someday Jesus will call you home. Until then, do your part to make the world a better place for the people you will leave behind. Start now. And Jesus, show me how I can leave behind a legacy of faith in you and love for one another. So there's a challenge. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow if you decide to check in. If not, I'll see you until next time you decide to check in. If you do, I don't know. God bless. Have a good weekend. And the Father, Son, and Spirit, amen.